just whilst I'm brewing, just waiting for the mash to do its stuff, I decided it's time to do a little bit of a tasting of my last beer that I brewed, which is the peach saison. I've actually had this on keg for quite a while now in my house. It's been on tap for a couple of weeks. I'm getting pretty much to the end of it, and it's safe to say that this beer has changed so much over the last 2 weeks. I mean, let's go. Let's just talk through it. I mean, so you see here we've got some beautiful colour, beautiful clarity there. If I hold it up against the sun, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on there. Considering we've got some fruit in there, and if you remember, we spoke about how adding fruit generally, especially if you're going to put it in a boil, is going to cause a lot of cloudiness and pectins to come, which you don't want in your beer, because it makes it very cloudy, obviously, and doesn't look as appealing. Everyone loves to see a nice, crisp, clear beer if it's in keeping with the style. And so saisons generally are quite crisp and clear, and so we've kind of got that going here. It fermented out really well. I can't remember the yeast. I think it was the Jackman's or Grovemans. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's Grovemans French saison, and it was brilliant. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it even went. I've never had this, but it basically went beyond what I was expecting. I've always had, in terms of fermenting, so the final gravity was somewhere in the regions of, I can't remember the numbers now, but it just dropped drastically. And so this beer was pitching at 5.5, was what I was hoping, I think it was, but it ended up hitting, it's around 6.3 or 6.5 with regards to final ABV. So there's a lot going on in this beer, and so just on the smell, straight away you get the fruitiness coming through. You kind of get the yeasty characters that you would expect from a saison. Not overpowering at all by any means. Just to the nose, it's a very pleasant smell. And then when you and then it's so my only reservation. So, like I said, I've had this beer on tap for about 2 weeks now, and I said it changed drastically over those 2 weeks. And so, in the first week, you would get so much of the fruit coming through, and then obviously there's quite a lot of wheat in this. So I think if I was going to brew it again, which I will just dial back the wheat a little bit and maybe swap it in for maybe some bit more Pilsner or something, or some lager malt. It's just, I think that now that the fruit has died down 2 weeks on, the overpowering flavour in this now is the wheat. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty happy with this beer. I've given it to some people between now and then who are really non beer drinkers, should we say, and I've had some interesting responses. It took me a while to get into saisons. Again, I think it's just the characters from the yeast that can be a bit off-putting. But there's been some people that first try went in for more, which is great. That's what I want. But I think this is definitely a beer for someone who likes saisons. If you are a fan of saisons, then you can totally brew this. I'm going to put the recipe on the website. I'll probably just put it all into this tasting. So if you brew this, let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear any changes you make. But like I said, the only thing I would make is just dial back the wheat a little bit and somehow try and see if I can get some more fruit out. So maybe play around with the idea of dumping fruit into the keg. So whilst it's on there, I don't know, I need to look into that and see if that's going to do it or if we're going to end up with an infection and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great beer, try it out and let me know what you think.